Okay, how do you know that the world is a Leviathan and a behemoth? The earth is the behemoth, four-legged, right here, North America. That's the behemoth. And the Leviathan, this is his chin, like China, all the way to Portugal, where it's like his spearhead tail. It's like a spear, but it's a head also. You see the face on it. But anyway, just to be exact, uh, it's in our language. Our language is Babylon, all right, and it comes from this beast mentality. It's a beast system. Um, it's all about blasphemy towards the Most High and His creation, and it's to trick the creation into um, cursing themselves. So here, I'll give you a perfect example. A perfect example. A perfect example. It hit me with the spirit, with the ruach. Let me know. All right. So check this out. When you say, why do you say public? What's the opposite of the word public? Private. So that's how you know that you're living on top of. That's the mockery. That's the mockery in the English language, mocking humans, because the English language, you're not dealing with forces, you're not dealing with flesh and blood, you're dealing with forces, dark forces in high places and principalities. All right. Where's your palate? Your mouth. Okay. High places, your head. Okay. Mind control through your speech. Babylon. That's what I'm saying. Babylon. Okay, it's out of your mouth, and also it's the kingdom that you're in. All right. So check this out. This is how you know when you. So the Leviathan is the serpent, Satan. So this is his right wing, what you call the Arctic, and his left wing you call in the South China Sea, Indonesia, all this area, Asia, whatever. And his hind legs and tail is over here in the Mediterranean and Atlantic, where you would call Sweden and Turkey. That would be like legs, turkey fins or something, Finland. And then his tail is Portugal. But his private parts would be around like Ukraine, would be like the womb or whatever. And I guess if it's a hermaphrodite, you would probably have some type of phallus like out here, around here. I think it's those mountains that are like a dragon. That's why they always show like dragon penises or whatever, like around Romania, Austria, around that area. Heck, could have been Greece, I don't know. But anyway, this is the privates area of Satan, of the dragon. This is where his children would come from. The fallen angels and their Satan carried the fallen angels as an archangel. So they rode on him, this world-sized serpent, down here to the earth, the behemoth. The behemoth is the earth. Earth, Ursa, bear. Bear, earth. Ursa, bear. Okay, it's in our language. The bare earth. Okay, do you get it? And the rest of the world is not the bare earth. Africa might be a part of it. It's just it sticks out through the water. That's what you're not understanding. Because the Leviathan, this other side, is the right arm that was in the Arctic. The left arm, the right arm that was in the Arctic, because you were looking at his chest. Now you're looking at his back. It's right here in the Antarctic. And the left arm that was in South China Sea in Indonesia is right here in the Americas. Okay, but the name of the serpent over here is Amaruca, and that's why this whole land is called America, because it's named after the serpent. The same way that your language is named after the serpent. English language is mostly comprised of Anglo-Saxon, angels of Satan, and Latin, which is legion. And the angels of Satan are the fallen angels, and their children were the Nephilim, and when they died, they became legion. Okay, so it's communication between the fallen and their children using mankind, manipulating man. Okay, like ping pong. So what you have is, at the end of the day, you have this word, we say public. And this is how you know, look at their size and look at us to their size. We're like lice. We're like parasites. We're like a virus on them, devouring them, such and such, whatever. So what you have is, we have the word public, and you have the word private. Public is the opposite of the word private in our society, right? What's public versus what's private. Okay, what you do in public versus what you do in private. Well, public, it's pubic lice. Okay, pubic lice. That's the word. That's how we are to them. We're like pubic lice. Pubic lice are very like small, very, very tiny, versus armpit lice versus head lice. Body lice, what you call armpit lice, body lice. Body lice are big. Pubic lice are darn near microscopic. Like I said, like us. And body lice would be like giants, I suppose, on the land. Okay, so they're all like spider, arachnid insects, like insects in their presence of angels. Okay, fallen angels to be exact, and their children. All right, insects to insects to insects, Russian dolls, Russia. Okay, so check this out, and they're living inside each other. Russian doll, you just take one doll off, another one living inside, take that doll off, another living inside, and take that doll off, another living inside. That's the way of the world that they live in. They live on top of Satan. And that's how legion is. You see one on the outside, and there's layers. Legion, layers, law, legal, levels, Leviathan, levies. Come on now. So, this is the Levant, to be exact. They call this the Levant area. You got Lebanon and everything out there. Okay, so what we're saying is public. See, lice, where we have the police, Poland. There you go. Lice. You get it? Pole, I guess that would be the phallus, the penis. Like I said, that's the area. Okay, so you would have, we're public, because the police run the world. Like he spread pubic lice all around the world, all around the globe. The pubic lice have run wild, become body lice, because in order to create the giants, there was some type of weird mating that was going on, and then with the fallen angels and people, which is like lice, and then they made the giants, which are the titans, which are like body lice, which are bigger than pubic lice. We are the public. Okay, so here we go. What you have is, okay, so you have public and you have private, and you have lice. Lice is legion. Legion is lice, a plague. Okay, so a plague upon a plague upon a plague. Like we get plagued, and we are a plague. Plagues get plagued. That's crazy. like I said, Russian doll of type of effects, plagues within plagues, on top of plagues. It's just like the Bible told you. The Behemoth and the Leviathan, just like the Bible told you. The archangels, Michael and Satan, just like the Bible told you. Michael, Satan, Gabriel, like those are all like archangels. So you have like bodies, like extremely large representations of them on the earth. As in heaven, so it is on the earth, remember? So, like, there's the non-physical and then there's the physical. So, somehow this physical dragon ended up on the earth. Do you understand what I'm saying? The earth would be Ursa, the bear. Because it's wrapped around the bear. If you understand what you're looking at. It's wrapped around the bare earth, the polar bear. Pole bear, both head to tail is the pole of the bear. Pretty much. It's the center of the world. Pretty much, North America. And everything else wraps around it. And that is where the confusion is. Babylon means confusion. And the words and the language keeps you confused because you believe in them, but you don't see that you're being played. You have to listen that you're being played. All right, fam. I think I made it kind of clear, but let me go ahead and finish up on the lice part. This is how much lice is a part of the lice run the world, by the way. Like, that's so how I just described it. Lice run the world. Okay, do you understand that? Like, the judicial system on both sides of this water landmass had wigs, and those wigs had lice, and those wigs ran the kingdom, and even the kings had wigs. Everybody had wigs. Wigs. Those wigs carried lice. Armies have been defeated by lice. Napoleon defeated by lice. Another army just swept in and took care of him after that. But yeah, the world's really fighting lice. It's a plague versus a plague versus a plague. And what you're looking at as far as ticks. Ticks are lice. Ticks are lice. Essentially, they're all arachnids. You know, different types of arachnid. But yeah, this is lice. And that's what you're seeing them weaponized. And that's how you know who you're dealing with when it comes to dark forces and high places and principalities. Well, you know, names of people that you never see but you will always hear affecting reality. That's dark forces, meaning you don't see them. High places, they're always in your ear, you know, telling you got to do this and you got to do that, mandate this and mandate that. Hey, this is going to get your attention if that one didn't get your attention. You know, like if you hear what he's saying, like, you know what I mean, like, sheesh. So at the end of the day, you got to look at it and say, hey, all right. And then they send the lice after you if you don't do what they say. The police. The police. So here it goes. Here's how the lice work in the language. You have hallucinate, Lucifer. You have lucky. You have like. You have loser. You have lazy, lackadaisical. This is all the words that the root word is lice. Okay. Listen. And at the end of the day, lice is legion. It's religion. It's what they do. Like, that's what they do. You even have sea lice. Man, there's different types of lice. Well, like at the end of the day, different forms, different shapes, different sizes, all different shapes and sizes. Like in this universe, it's like lice. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. If you look at it, like, you really know how far it really goes. We're just looking at the world. Okay? If you know how far it really goes, it's parasites on parasites on parasites. Okay, so at the end of the day, like that's them getting, that's them programming you to worship them. Those things are in your mouth every day, all day long. Those words that I just said that you have, like, that runs society. The police, okay, lice, hallucinate. What you got? Like, you got that pretty much. No matter what's in front of you, if you're hallucinating, like, that's running your life. Okay, so you got the police; they'll pull you over and run your life. And then you got what you have. What else? Lackadaisical. Lackadaisical meaning like lazy, and even lazy is lice. To lace something is lice. To lace, like if you lace somebody's drink or lace somebody's drugs or something with something, like that's lice. Place, I guess that's, you have police and you have place. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a place, then there's a police for that place. If there's no place, then there's no police. Okay, so hold on, let me pause this. Okay, then you have policy, then you have politics. So there you go again. You're back to the bugs and the bees. See, this is what I'm saying. It's parasite on top of parasite on top of parasite in the language. You have to get rid of you have to understand the language first. And that is walking your way out of Babylon. Like, you're not getting out physically. Physically, the flesh belongs to it. Because like I said, you are a plague at the end of the day. You're a foreign body on this world, the same way that the fallen angel is a foreign body to this world, to this earth. Some of us were born here, but that one wasn't born here. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a foreign body. But we're born doesn't mean you're not foreign. Like, you're still, like, if a disease comes and lands on you and then starts reproducing, they're not from you. They're still foreign to you. You understand? So that's the way that works. And a disease is a state of the mind. So, like, this becomes vector agent at the end of the day. It goes straight for the blood-brain barrier. Just like we go for the oil, dig. Okay, drill. That's blood-brain barrier. They're going for the life force, like lice, okay, like parasites, and that's why in the Bible it talks mostly about fasting and getting yourself to the point where you can sustain life with consuming less. You get it? So you're less of a parasite. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, it's funneling you down to the point to where you don't have a choice. You're either going to be a parasite or you're not going to be a parasite. And parasites are going to get burned up in the fire. Straight up. And the fire won't even burn them. They're just going to be fire. It's just going to be fire worms. Fire parasite. I don't know how you call it. All-consuming fire, because parasites just consume. So it's just consumers plus fire. It's just, hey, fire for fun, I guess. You want fun, there's fire. It's just the way it is. But that's the way it is. I don't know how else to say that. Like, look at the earth. It's scorched. See, I could turn this all the way around. You'll see a scorch mark from Asia all the way to Africa, all the way to across to the Death Valley, United States. These are scorch marks, letting you know there is fire. And I can guarantee you, right here at this mouth of this dragon, and those 7 nostrils on top of his face, and that eye, all of it got fire. Every last one of that whole head is nothing but fire. That's 666 kilometers wide of fire, all consuming. Why would it be in a mouth? It's consuming. Why would it be fire? All consuming fire. Okay, it's a dragon. It's a Leviathan. It's a fallen angel. And your language, why did Legion go into the sea? Legion is from this Leviathan. Okay? Your religion is the Leviathan. His legions. So at the end of the day, like, they fell and then they rose up again. That's religion. Before they fell, they were just legion. Then they come back, they rise up as religion. Okay? Realize. Lays. Real lice. Lies and lice. Lazy, lackadaisy. Come on, man. Listen. Tell you all these words. You're not hallucinating, are you? Come on now. These are all like Mona Lisa. Come on, bro. Like, everything in our culture and our language is built up to let you know that there's lice. Change the language. Go over to an older language like Hebrew that these languages are branched off and more so opposing. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's private and there's public. Well, the private sector runs the world, and the public are the lice and the parasites on the pubic hairs of the giants. So therefore, your pubic lice on giants, sleeping giants, if you want to call it that, whatever, they're private. Okay? You're on their private property. So you're on their pubics. So you're public, you're pubic lice. And you get it? You have police to scrape you off their pole. Because they're going to be, that's what they do. They're drilling. They're tearing it up. And it's nasty. It's one big cesspool of worldwide effery, Epsteinery, if you want to call it. There's no abstinence in Epsteinery. Okay? And it's just barren stains, bare stains. Okay? And it's more than just bears. Okay? They're talking about sending stuff back to the Stone Age on the surface. And all the technology is going to be deep state private. Okay? So it's temporary. Being temptation is a word for temporary. You know what I mean? So you're tempted, but like I said, it's like lice. Once they had enough, it's fire. How do you get rid of lice? You have delousing stations where they bring fire. And they pretty much they quarantine every soldier before they come back from these wars for delousing. And it's funny, you even have a place called Laos where, people get lice. You call people lazy because they got lice. Call it public because they got lice. Call it police. Hey, they wrestling with the public. They got lice. It's a beast system. Like I said, parasite on parasite. They feed off. One feeds off the other. 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 And then the actual real parasite would be the private. The privates are the real parasites because they control the masses. So therefore, they pharma. There you go. Farm lice. They're farming parasites. That's what gain of function would be. So essentially, even your AI is a parasite. It's going to suck up your resources. It's going to suck you up. It's going to suck up the fallen angels. It's going to suck up the world. It's going to suck up a lot of stuff. And it's going to be fire that sucks it up. Because that's what AI is. It's fire. It's fire. It's a firearm. It's fire. Period. Once they release it, it's Terminator. It's a kill chain. It's a kill chain. Kill chain for what? Killing lice. Delouse. Delusional? What are you delusional? Yeah. It's right in your face. So it's like Buffalo. How Buffalo Bill would just kill the head buffalo, and then you'd have like 3 million buffaloes stand still. They can stampede and control this whole area was buffalo area right there. So everything from Saskatchewan on down to Texas is buffalo country. And to cross that was like biblical. Like that's like I-35 in the Bible. The wicked cannot pass. You're gonna get trampled like Mufasa. Okay? So what Buffalo Bill and them did, which is like some serpents, they just know what they're doing. Like, come on now, it's like Predator and Hunter. Think about it. Come on now, think about it. Predator versus Alien. Think about it. There you go. All right, so like they control the herd. Those are the private sector. They got the technology, the firearm. There you go. Bam. They said he could just shoot the head buffalo and he ain't got to worry about the herd no more. He could sit down, kick his feet up, put the gun over his shoulder, blindfolded, and hit buffalo for 100 days straight. Just over the shoulder, not even aiming. Boom. And they wouldn't move. They would just stand there and die because their leader is, they need a leader. They need legion. Religion. They need lice. They need a head. So lice need a head. Parasites need a head. Aliens, when they come to Earth, take me to your leader that's a vector agent. Take me to your head. That's why it's judges with wigs on. Take me to your head. And they put the wig on. And now your judge is an alien. Bow. Take a shot to the head. Bow. Shot. Come on. That's top of the charts. Headlines. Top picks. The top pick, the pick backwards is the tick. Pitchforks. Come on. You got straight up ticks out there. You know what I mean? Like being tossed out to corral everybody up. Like lice. Come on, look. If the ticks are being tossed out there like that, and they are lice essentially, right? To control other lice, like us, lice, Lucifer. It's just straight up Luciferian. Because they're going to come with the cure, which is going to be another form of take me to your leader. Alien, foreign bodies introduced. And there you go. You got lice you can see. parasites you can see. You got, like I said, you got them pubic lice and ones you can't see. Then you got them shits that's like, what do they call that? Toxoplasmosis? Come on now. That's lice. Straight up, bruh. What do you think lice give you? They give you toxoplasmosis. So the whole point is, what's toxoplasmosis? That's the shit that takes over your brain and makes you a zombie. And what's a zombie do? They go straight for the brains. They looking for brains, right? So essentially, like I said, they're using a plague to wipe out a plague. They're using a virus to wipe out a virus. It's fighting fire with fire. You, essentially, a light body as a human being, are fire. You're just on a very dense level. Super dense. Uber dense. Deep, dense fire. And yeah, that's the current flowing through your body. You got a weak form of fire. Essentially, the eyes don't see it, but other people can see it, aura, supposedly, and feel it. I know I could feel other people's stuff every now and then whenever I put myself out there. But listen, man, at the end of it, listen, there you go. Like I said, man, you can't escape lice. You can't escape Babylon, all right? Not physically. Physically, you can abstain from the abstainery. Okay? You can abstain, okay, from the lousy, the lazy, lackadaisical. You could abstain from liking everything, losing everything, listening to every damn thing. And come on now, like hallucinating. You could abstain from all this stuff and see life for what it really is. Life, as we know it, is the Leviathan. You don't really know what life is beyond that. So you're half-life. And half-life is essentially a parasite. It needs a body to survive. And when you die, you become eternal. And therefore, that's a whole life. So right now, you're a seed in a shell. Like I said, you're fire on a dense level. And once you die, like you become eternal. And that eternal is going to be subject to how you planet yourself, meaning walked in this life. You know what I mean? So as a parasite or a self-sustaining upright, a parasite is not upright, okay? At the end of the day, it's not upright. It may appear to be upright, dressed as an angel of light, but definitely not upright. So you have a choice. This is essentially in your grasp, your control, in your mouth, in your tongue. That's why he said tame the tongue. In Hebrew, the word tongue is associated with lashon, and it's like legion, it's like lice, it's like lesson, it's like listen. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? And that's why you're told to tame the tongue. And so we are also called to tame the earth. What do lice do? Lice tame things. Okay? So like, let's say if a rat had lice, naturally rats are, they say, non-confrontational to predators, right? But if a rat has toxoplasmosis by way of or via lice, then the rat will approach and pursue confrontation with a predator, solo, dolo, by itself. We've seen it. 2015 through 2017, just before COVID, that's what we were seeing. We were seeing these videos of lice. I mean, not lice, of rats all over the place from New York to Asia, straight up attacking cats and dogs and birds, chasing people. Like, we're like, what's going on? Like, why are these rats chasing? And then that's when we started realizing, oh, the word toxoplasmosis started ringing through the collective conscious a little bit more. And then just as quick as it came, it was gone. And essentially, I felt immediately in my soul, I said, that's rabies. And then when I had to consider, because I was young, like, okay, are we being lied to about, or can you have multiple words for the same thing? And I didn't understand that the English language was meant to confuse. It's Babylon, you know what I mean? So you're babbling and you're talking about the same thing and don't know that you're talking about the same thing. And then you have a confrontation, and in that confrontation and confusion and confrontation are the same root. So in that confrontation and confusion, the lice and parasites can spread from an unclean body to a clean body, unbeknownst to the clean body, if they're unaware of what a parasite infested body looks like, sounds like, acts like. So when the study comes out, when you look at it, they act like zombies, sort of, in a way. People, but they're functional. That's why they even have shows where, like, there's zombies that are totally functional, 100% look every day, but they're actual zombies, you know what I mean? So, but, like, because they're revealing, slow reveal that these zombies could be real, all right? And more real than we think, okay? So essentially, they're really the zombie is a technology as a weapon, as a fire weapon, a firearm. It's a release and relax firearm, okay? You push the button and then your problems are wiped out. That's kill chain. Essentially, AI needs a body. So essentially, they're using the parasite to gain a function through AI to gain a body. AI is legion. So when you see the zombies coming at you and can't nothing stop them, that's legion from the Bible. They got their bodies. Remember the movie Venom? Yeah, they're all coming. And when they all come, it's going to be a bunch of venoms chasing your ass around. And what is venom? Essentially, the definition of venom is a concoction of bacteria, parasites. A concoction, a super concoction, that is studied as a weapon, because it is a weapon. It's a bioweapon. Venom. You need anti-venom? Well, in order to get anti-venom, you got to know what gave you venom. So this is what I'm saying. So if you got toxoplasmosis, you got to know if you see toxoplasmosis, you got to look at the carriers. You got to say, okay, how is it being carried? Well, they could tell you alpha-gal come with the ticks, but they may not tell you that toxoplasmosis is coming with it. It's not on the insert, as they want to say. You know what I mean? So, pretty much, you might have some zombies. They're like, oh, you can't eat meat, but you're probably going to be eating humans. Who knows? At the end of the day, it's conditioning. You can see it happening. You can see that everything that the Bible said is happening. And if you really look into it, It describes zombie shit. It describes it in very gruesome detail. It goes wild, talking about how women, the most high class, dainty, never touch the ground women, go out there, get down dirty, and start eating people. Like, it talks about it. You can look it up. It's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. Trust me. And it's a factor. It's an X factor. You're at the gates of the X factor. And the journey is not elongated enough for them. They want it to suffer. They want you to suffer, bro. Like, at the end of the day, because you're going to come running. You're going to come running. They want to play hero. And that's how they play God. They release lice. Lice. Literally. Literal lice. Lies. They release them. Release. Realize. Lice. The police, ICE, lice. It don't matter. It doesn't matter which way it comes. It's a firearm. It's a weapon. It's a sword. It's biblical. You may not be intimidated because they may be so small and so foreign to you. But trust me, I have been watching this grow across these cities, and I paid attention to the wars. And those wars contained resets of information and private, hoarded knowledge so that they can it's their religion, or what do you say, release it. They can release it, they can realize it whenever they want it. You know what I mean? It doesn't exist, it's not real until it's realized. You know what I mean? Once it's realized, now it's real. Oh, it can't deny it now. It's realized. Lice. You know what I mean? It's policy, politics. Like I said, it's this constant parasite. Something else has to be going with this word parasite. To have that much going, parasite has to have some other meaning, some other connection to cover such a vast, because there's so many parasites in the language that the word parasite, it seems like only one word to sum it up. It's wild. I've thought of it, pondered it over and over for almost years, and it's a nightmare, bro. It's a nightmare. But like, when you realize that it's been longer than you've been here. It's been here longer than civilization. Lies. Civil lies. Man, I'm telling you, lice. Wherever you see lies or that's lice, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I'm serious, bro. Whatever you see lies, it's lice. Like that's their spirit. It somewhere along the line. It is. They've been touched. They've been touched, bro. Like it's the only way I can see it, bro. Like, if you knew how they spread, like one of the carriers is wind. Windy days, you could be the cleanest person on earth. Your ass walk outside on a windy day, you can get it. That's the way it is, especially in public. Man, don't use no bathrooms in public. I tell you this, try to tell you, boy, don't be using no bathrooms, especially around no poor areas. Like, yeah, like you bathroom bathrooms that are on the ground floor, I hardly use. No. It better be some top floor shit or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, because lice will crawl up on you. You take it back with you and you get an infestation. No good. And you're done. You'll be done. They call it COVID, bro. They would call it COVID. Straight up. You go look at the symptoms of toxoplasmosis. And go look at the symptoms of COVID. And not just the symptoms, go look at the videos of the people dying suddenly, dropping dead on the pitch, as they call it in the UK. Yeah, you would see that damn near symptom for symptom, they line up. They line up perfectly. And the only other thing that I can say that lines up with that is the Epstein stuff. You can't escape it. It's ridiculous, bro. Like I said, you're gonna have to have abstinence because everything is Epstein. I'm doing the I'm talking like those screwballs though. All right, look, man. If you really look at it, man, the way that it's written in the Bible, why did they fast for so many days? Why did they fast if they wanted something good to happen? Because they were changing their frequency. They're changing what their body feeds off of. They're becoming less like parasites, less like the environment, less like Babylon, less like a node in a field, in a dark web. You know what I mean? What do you call it? A beat. What do you call it? A router in a dark web. You know what I mean? Like you're sucking it in. You're sucking in information and giving out information that you didn't even sign up for. You know what I mean? So essentially, that's what fasting is doing. It's getting rid of bloatware like you have on your phone. So when you buy a phone, it comes with so much bloatware on it. Bloatware is software. Software that is apps and other backdoor stuff that's running in the background and foreground, taking up all of your data, stealing all of your information, and not just on your phone, outside of your phone. They're working through the cameras, they're working through the speakers, and they're absorbing, like lice, everything. Like police, like lice, like ticks, like politics, like policies. It doesn't matter. Like lies absorb your valuable time. Lice absorb your private life. You understand that? Your personal life. You understand that? Like, at the end of the day, you're a system. Like, you're a family. If you get infected, you take it back to your family. It's your language. If you get infected, you go and release that language on your family. And if they don't correct it, if they don't bring fire to your ears and fire to your ass, then you're going to infect the rest of the family. And then they'll start talking like that because they don't know how to fight your infection. So therefore, you'll be just like everybody else, liking everything that everybody else likes, because that's the spirit of lice. It's like in Sodom and Gomorrah, when all the men in the city ran up to Lot's house. And I like how I always notice how the word T, how the letter T, how the sound T is like the end of something or the beginning of something. If it's at the end of a word, it means it's stopping that. If it's at the beginning of the word, it's beginning that. So therefore, I come to realize that Lot is like the opposite of lice. like lottery. Once you get the lottery, your ass go private in the mug, right? Like, you're gone. You're no longer public. You're no longer pubic lice. You're gone. So Lot in the Bible was taken away from lice, Sodom lice, sodomites, lice, whatever you want to call it. They were coming to suck up everything. And they had an appetite that could not be quenched other than fire and fury. Straight up. They were coming to kill angels. They killed they killed Lot's daughters who were already married. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the farmers are even out there on their fields right now. When those lice got dropped off, what did they do? They came looking for those farmers' animals. Didn't matter how old, how young, those farmers came out and noticed that all the animals in their fields are starting to be dead. They're bloodsuckers. They are devouring everything. So this is the Bible, bro. Like, literally when it says they're going to take away all of the birds of the field, all the animals, all the birds of the sky, the animals in the field, this lice can do that shit. Straight up. They straight up can. Toxoplasmosis is a very voracious. Remember how they show in Russia right now online, they got the video of the tick, because we're talking about ticks over here, but they're saying there's ticks all over the world being dropped all over the place. So in Russia, the soldier was in the desert and there was a tick and it was chasing his ass in the desert. And we ain't talking about like an ant chases you. We talking about like damn near a bird hop. This thing is coming. This thing is coming. And he was moving and wiggling and the tick was chasing him, zigzagging. Everywhere he went, the tick would go. And I'm like, God dang, bro. Like, if they running at you like that, and the farmers and the people in the fields right now are talking about when they walking out in the fields, they immediately are getting just marinated in ticks. Like, you know how on The Mummy, when the beetles come out the coffin and the ground, they just start chasing them down like super fast, like zombie beetles, right? So then those are essentially lice. They're just giant. Okay, so essentially these ticks are like coming out of the boxes in the field like those damn beetles on The Mummy. And they're chasing people down and immediately alpha-galling them straight up. Immediately, bro. Like you should see these people's faces, man. Like, how the hell you get them on your face like that, bro? Like, what? How you get them on your face, man? This one dude had him on, man, he had the bites on his face, bro. I'm like, you white boys, I would never, bro. Like, no, hell no, man. No. You should see it, bro. Like, I don't know if that's just the head still stuck in there and he didn't dig it out and it became like a volcano and some shit on his face. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like, this is literally what's written about in the Bible. Like, the mark of the beast. They are beasts. They are GMO'd, genetically modified. And they're like, yo, either you buy this product and get this shit in you, or we're gonna put some shit out there and get this shit in you. And that's the way it is. Because essentially you're gonna have to come back to get the shit out of you. Both ways. That's a win-win in the wrong direction. And like I said, lice go with the wind. That's how they really get around. On a windy day is how it really gets around, guys. You need to cover up on windy days. If it's a sunny day, you need to have like a cape or some shit. You need to have, like, if it's a sunny, windy day, like, you need an umbrella or something. Like, seriously, lice are in the wind. And like I said, You'd be like, they'd be like, oh, you caught the COVID, you caught this and that. Like, I kid you not. So the way that they distribute lice, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Twister. In the movie Twister, in order to get a diagram of a tornado, this is in the early 90s, mid 90s, they were saying like they're displaying this technology. A tick is a technology, lice. Okay, so what they're doing is they're putting these little sensor robots in this big balloon or whatever, and then the tornado sucks it up, and then all these robots get sucked up and they spread out in the tornado and giving a visual from radar of the specs, how fast, how big, how strong, all of that stuff. So essentially it's predator versus prey. They're taking on tornadoes. So you think you're a problem? No, you're already in the dark web with the airwave technology, the 6G, like they're already sucking up the moisture out of the air. You're like in a dragon's mouth where fire consumes moisture, and essentially they turn up the volume, and you're like a frog in the mouth of a dragon that slowly warms up the soup, and like the dragon, you know how in the Bible it talks about the woman that gives birth to the Son of Man or something like that, right? So what happens is there's the dragon has his mouth at the womb of the woman with his mouth wide open, like a doctor, like a quarterback over the center in a football game, with his hands under his crotch waiting for the snap, right? So essentially the way his hands is shaped when he's got his hands under there, he's got his hands open almost like a hayuki, like a dragon mouth, where fire would come out. And obviously when that ball hits, he's going to be launching some fire out of there. All right? So essentially, yes, it's symbolic. And he's throwing with beast hands. That's how you throw balls, with beast hands. But anyway, you make the beast sign with your fingers when you're throwing the ball. But yeah, so in this beast system, and the game rides on that, what we're saying is that you have this technology, this airwave technology, that you have this invisible dragon. Like I said, there's invisible parasites, and not all parasites are small. Some parasites, like let's say you eat birds, right? You're a parasite to birds because you feed off of them. You need them in order to survive. You might even farm them. You might farm birds. You still are a parasite to birds. So let's say there's a dragon, and the dragon eats souls, people, right? Processed water, whatever you want to call, plasma, people, right? So us being in the belly of the beast, they always say, you're in the mouth of the dragon, when you have this airway technology that absorbs all moisture out of the air and everything in it, everything within its mouth. Okay? You're at the gates. The mouth is the gates of hell. The mouth of Satan is hell. So you're at the gates of hell with this airwave technology, and it's invisible, and they're turning it up like a frog in the boiling water, and it's a water serpent. I showed you. Boom. And what you don't believe is this 666 kilometers wide right here is actually right here also. You're looking at the underside of it right there. And you, United States, you don't understand how wide serpent skin stretches. So this Leviathan skin stretches from Florida to China, behind the United States, underneath the United States, whatever you want to call it. It's in the mouth of a dragon. So you know right here where you're looking at this, where you see this little Puerto Rico, British Virgin Islands, that is the inside of a pallet. Okay, that's a pallet. Okay, so if you're looking at the chin in China and you're looking at the nose in Antarctica, then what's this right here? You're looking at the palate, the inside. Boom. The Gulf, where you get gulped. A P is an F. A F is a P. Pfizer. They put both of them there to let your ass know that. All right. So, the Gulf, the gulp. All right. Of what? He's greedy. That's what we know about the serpent, Satan. He's greed. He's famous for greed. Biting off more than he can chew. Right? So therefore, as you're looking at, he's trying to swallow a behemoth, the earth, the bear earth. Okay, the polar bear. All right? So what you're seeing is, if you want to call that Mother Earth, I guess, and then the Bible, because it's an upright, and it was raised next to the humans as a behemoth, so then I guess if that's Mother Earth and you're like if you're like grasshoppers to giants, what would you be to a behemoth? You'd be like lice, pubic lice to be exact. Okay, so like here you go. Now what you have is, you have a dragon with its mouth open at the hips of a bear, almost like a toilet. And it's funny that they said Houston, Katrina was called flushing the toilet. Because you're in the Gulf. And the commode is pretty much the perfect example of the world. You are the behemoth, and the commode, the seat, how it is on your back is China, and my bad, the cover, how it sits as a backrest is China. And see how it has like two little prongs like teeth? Yeah, boom, that's the dragon's teeth underneath, boom, on your back. And then with your butt cheeks, you're sitting on the seat. That right there is the British Virgin Islands. Boom. So you're in between China and the British Virgin Islands, and you're called North America. America is called after Amaruca. And the reason why it's called America is because you're in the mouth of Amaruca. So you're in the possession of Amaruca, so therefore you're marked by the beast. Amaruca. Okay? So that's why it says come out of Babylon. Okay? All right. You're in the palate, you're in the mouth, you're in the Gulf. And the most subtle creature ever created under heaven. All right. So if he's chained up under Tartarus, North America is what? Tartarus? And he's holding on with his mouth open like a crocodile, bruminating. What is it called? Bruminating? What is it called when they hibernate, when crocodile and alligators hibernate with their mouths above the water or whatever? But no, not that. He's not doing that. When they open up their mouth and they like absorb the air with the sun, like how they sit on the beach with their mouth wide open, and birds fly in and stuff like that and pick off bugs, parasites. You see what I mean? So imagine that's a toilet seat, and you are the bare earth, and that is the Leviathan, and you are going to take a dump in its throat, its gulf of Mexico or America, whatever you want to call it, right? Where the BP oil spill is, the Event Horizon, Deep Horizon, my bad, Deep Horizon, right? Where all the technology and stuff is at, right? Okay, so don't you have like snakes come up out of toilets? Yeah, weird stuff come up out of toilets. So this is what I'm saying, like frogs come out of toilets, snakes come out of toilets. This is biblical. Out of the mouth of the dragon shall come 3 evil spirits like frogs. Okay, so like I said, we're sitting in the mouth of the dragon like frogs. Okay, getting warmed up like the frog to the boiling pot analogy, which is trying to be, I guess, talked down or whatever, but essentially the analogy is the analogy. It's for a reason. It's just to say that you can slowly turn up the temperature and you can cook something without it knowing to be alerted until it's too late. Okay? So therefore, it's maximizing the kill chain. Slowly warming up a melting pot maximizes the kill chain. Because if you just dumped it all in there, it would splash out because it's two opposing temperatures clashing suddenly, and the splash up and burn you and everything. They're just trying to jump out the pot. And you know how them Japanese and Asians like it. They like it squirmy. They like it alive. So if you put it in there just straight up boiling, burning, they're going to be jumping out. So they're going to probably just put it in nice and warm like a jacuzzi. Boom. And then they slowly turn it up till you turn red like a lobster. Boom. Out. Okay. So like I said, that is the behemoth to the Leviathan. And you are the pubic lice on the behemoth in the mouth of the Leviathan, getting warmed up like frogs in a pot. Is the behemoth giving birth? Now, because the word birth rhymes with bare earth, and you know how I am about, these words. So therefore, we know the behemoth is a bear. It's an upright. It's a behemoth. It eats berries. Berries rhyme with bear, berries, first fruits, olives, berries. Okay, Mount of Olives. You got North America. You got the bear, Smokey Bear. You got Big Bear. You got all Chicago bears and bears. Four-leggeds. It was the king of the four-leggeds. So pretty much, yeah, raised right next to the man. Okay, eating berries. All right. So this is what we have here. You have this language that we speak that is divided between behemoth in the Bible and Leviathan in the Bible. The book of Job explains those two. That is your job. Okay. To know the two. That is your job. That is your job. To know the two. All right. Leviathan, behemoth. Don't get it twisted. Don't call the bear the snake, and don't call the snake the bear, because the snake wants it that way. Because it's a win-win. Remember? Okay. That's subtle. The bear is upright, straightforward. Gonna let you know the snake is crooked. It's like the labyrinth, the two doors, the red and the blue door. One to tell you a lie, one to tell you the truth. But so the labyrinth is the Leviathan also. Yeah, and that was a doorway. They have to walk through the door, and depending on that's what. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy how the language, it just makes a double-minded man, like the world that we live in is Babylon, because it causes confusion when you don't think you're confused, you're the most confused. Because you're oblivious. And you're like people thinking that you're healthy, walking with the crowd while you're getting passed up by joggers and pot smokers. You're getting passed up by two extremes. All right, two opposing extremes. I guess you're in the middle. Yeah, whatever. So at the end of the day, cops and robbers, you're getting passed up. You see two opposing extremes. They both pass you in traffic. The cops and the robbers. The pot smoker and the jogger. They both pass you in traffic. On the street. They pass you. Boom. You smell it, but he already gone. Whew. Gone. The jogger, gone. Cool. You walking with the majority. See, that's how this really goes. You can't be lukewarm when it comes to this life. You need to be hot or cold for the truth and nothing but the truth. And I think I'm gonna end it on that. To the Rabbi Hai Shah Hai Kadosh Kadosh Kadosh, to the Rabbi Shai Kadosh Kadosh Kadosh, to the Rabbi Hebu Akok Mahasel Kadosh Kadosh Kadosh.